Give me a house coat, man. You know what I mean? I take care of my toes, and my feet and shit. That's right. Snow is fake. Yeah. We got to get back in tune with nature. Because I'm telling you, our Father who art in Orion, Amun be thy name. May his will be done on earth as it is in Orion. Right? They're talking about the sun. Talking about the sun. And you related to it. You are plasmatically related to the sun. You are the children of Amun. Christians say the children of God. Muslims say the children of Allah. Hebrews say the children of Yahweh or Jehovah later after 1592. Right? But before all of that, it was the sun. Everybody got a sun deity. I'll show you that in the 1089 manual. They all got a sun deity as the creator. That has to be acknowledged. You can't just gloss over that. And when you make that definitive connection, all the pieces start connecting for you. And you can't help but to live out the playbook that was written for you. We're showing restraint and resistance to it. And you got a social engineering program that's attempting to line up with what your destiny was presented for so that that engineering program can benefit from it and not you. That's what's going on. But that time for that to happen has ended because they didn't make something better with that timeline or that roadmap that was laid out for that particular soul. And you got beings that operate on a mortal frequency, attempting to play what they refer to as God, right? They're trying to be the sun, and you can't be the sun. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be the sun. You're trying to be the sun. That's what the eye is all about. That's what masonry is all about. That's what the Illuminati is all about. You talk about the fucking sun. You hear me? But they don't want you to make that connection. They'll pervert that connection that you can have to the sun. Because once you make it, game over. That shit increases your cognition. It increases your conscious awareness. Right? You start to rationalize a lot better with sunlight in your shit. Going through your whole body. And when you show gratitude to the sun, it even do more. Think about it. I got plants. The plants used to be little pots. Over time, as the sunlight kept hitting it, it kept growing. I had to water it. But all water is sunlight. That's all water is. It's sunlight. In a liquid form. Think about it. Think about it. And it has the ability to hold memory. It holds memory very easy. So you must be cognizant. That's right. That's right, brother. That's why they block out the sun. That's exactly why. That's exactly why. And they try to get them chemtrails up there. See, these pyramids produce enough ions, negative ions. It's being emitted from this device. I got so many magnets when I put them in the pyramids, especially the big ones. I put so many magnets in there. All them ions go. That's what be moving the chemtrail out the way. and it's connecting to the ionosphere, right? And it's creating a wave of life force that makes the air easier to breathe. It makes it cleaner, right? You get a clearer resonance. So when you out there and you got your pyramid, for my people that got their pyramids, when you be outside with the pyramids and you be seeing the birds coming and shit like that, they coming because they know that that area has been cleaned. Yeah. It clear all the radiation away from your body. See, radiation produces positive ions. That's what radiation emits on a particle level, right? On that end of the spectrum. But as you go past that, it starts to turn into positive ions, like a radiation. That's where smog comes into play, emissions. You know, it's a congelated, compact cloud of that shit. People not even aware of it. You can't see it, you can't smell it, or you can't see it if you're further away enough from it. But you can't smell it, you can't taste it. Said SCW waves. I don't know what you mean by that. They like that's like EMF waves, but some people call them elf waves, right? You could kind of see it on a hot day, and you see like the heat wave or whatever, but it's not on the ground. If it's like in the air, and you see like the heat wave, that means it's a lot of radiation in that area. So many houses in a row got Wi-Fi. So many houses in a row have, now they didn't put them underground. So now those waves is up under it. I'm telling y'all, you got the cell phone towers and the satellite towers, right? Well, they both the same thing, but they receiving signals from these satellites. That shit bouncing off all type of shit. And that stuff just moving through our body. We're not even aware of shit at that level, but it is happening, right? Shit is happening. And that's why I make my orgone, the pyramids, and all that shit. Because ain't nobody thinking about that stuff. Because I told y'all before, you can look it up on the YouTube. The person take out the two cell phones and sit them between the egg, and the egg get to cooking. You know what I'm saying? If you're a person like me, I got two cell phones, but I make sure I keep crystals in my pocket. I got orgone in my pocket. I keep my tech around my neck, right? And that's been my whole thing since I've been connecting to the sun. The sun connection is what led to all of this. You know, well, we know how to make incense already, Tebow. Thank you. But that connection to the sun, that's where things really started to take shape and form for me. Connecting with that sun. Once I did that, it wasn't no need to overreach. Wasn't no need to speculate no more. I started taking off my shoes and socks, putting my feet in the grass. I had to put my feet in the grass every day. Stay grounded. Yeah, send me your mathematics. Send me your mathematics, and I'll hit you up. Do you think infrared is a good replacement? It's cold. I don't know what you mean by that, Bev. Do you think it's infrared? No, we in the infrared spectrum. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. No, like you're not supposed to look directly in the sun. You're supposed to inhale the sunlight, right? Now, as far as the radiation, that's that's where the pyramids come into play. Clear that shit out your atmosphere. Like my biggest pyramids, the 13 key ones, 13 key technology, those pyramids, they create a field 15 miles in the sky. 15 miles to the left of you, to the right of you, in front of you, behind you, and beneath your feet. So you get a full field where the energy is clear, right? That's right, Tebow. Let them know. So, like, um, when I start putting the pendants together, like I got some pendants out in the sun right now, right? The birds just start chirping, and man, they just started doing all type of shit. Dogs that got up out of their fence and just walking by. It's because of the life force energy that's out there. I got a pyramid outside too, a fresh one, and they just can't stop coming by. This morning I opened the door, it was 3 dogs. They just standing there looking at me. I came out the house to start the car up. They just put their head down and like they knew they wasn't supposed to be in my yard like that, but they could feel that energy. It's for real. It's just, are you going to acknowledge it or not acknowledge it? And once you acknowledge it, are you going to attempt to connect to it? Right? And that's what OrgoniteTEK is about. It's techniques. You know, it's asking you to take action, you know. He said birds swoop under the front of my car. I'm driving too fast. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, but pretty much that's what everything come down to is the sun's energy, right? And knowing the connections that you have to the sun and not taking it for granted. I woke up this AM, I was so energized, and I seen it was gray outside. So I immediately stepped outside. And this was after I showered and everything, because I get right on up before the sun. But I was like, man, the sun had to come out. When the sun came out, I felt so much better. Then I realized that it's springtime. I started pouring some resin, started making some devices, and you know, cleaning up my workspace. Been working on that since last night. But just putting everything back in order for the spring and to feel that energy, that positive energy that the sun emits. You know, a lot of people go out there in the sun and they start doing wild stuff and start going crazy. You not even acknowledge the sun. That's why you end up going doing crazy wild stuff. Get out there and align with the sun. It's nothing spooky about the sun. I mean, you see it. Connect to your planet. You're just a pebble on the planet. You a little pebble. Imagine if the earth wanted to shake, rattle, and roll. You'd be done for. Everybody and everything you love would be done for. Y'all seen the sinkholes and how they open up. That ain't nothing. That's just the earth farting. They ain't even a fart from the earth. That's like a little pimple pop or something, right? But it's a living entity. Y'all need to check out Guardians of the Galaxy. Look at the first Guardian of the Galaxy. I know, Nettie, I told you to watch Guardian of the Galaxy 3. And that came on TV. Uh, That came on TV the next day after I left the event. It came on TNT or one of them stations. I was like, damn, look at this. But watch Guardian of the Galaxy. When Peter Quill, he found out that his father was a god. He was a living planet. Y'all remember that? They showed y'all he was a living planet. Well, you on a living planet right now. You just got to figure out a way to connect to it and develop a rapport with it. Because I told y'all, we the custodians of this planet. You start showing custodial appreciation and gratitude, then guess what? You start showing custodial gratitude to your ancestors, then guess what? You start showing gratitude to your family tree and your progenitors, then guess what? Guess what's going to happen for you? Everything that you wanted to happen for you or that they wanted to happen for you, because they want more for you than you want for yourself. That's what it all really comes down to. Do you think natural disasters like in the movie too? No. I mean, they didn't already happen in parallel universes. A lot of this stuff has happened, right? On other timelines. They didn't access it. But that don't mean all of that's just a scare mechanism. It's a fear. They got to keep you on a certain frequency, right? In order to rule over you. So they'll say, oh man, because before they made that movie, they was like, yeah, we was wrong about the year 2000. It's going to be 2012. The earth is going to end. Everybody started buying bunkers again and talking about, like, man, I'm telling y'all, all this shit is to fake you out and to waste your time so that you don't engineer a reality for yourself, right? They need all your energy. They need all your attention. Energy flows where your attention goes. So, not saying you per se, but they put that out for you to get that movie and to waste that time in that way. And I've been on this over 29 years. And I'm telling y'all, when it came to the year 2000, they was like, man, that's it. The crafts is coming. Even the people on the land, the crafts is coming. They coming to pick everybody up. Man, when that shit didn't happen, motherfuckers was disappointed. They might not see it, but everybody that was believing, they was disappointed. They was disappointed. Like, man, I'm messed up right now. I thought the world was about to end. 2000 came and went. They said, oh, it's going to happen in 2003. 2003 came and went. 2012, that shit came and went. But y'all not realizing is when they got you paying attention to that, you got portals opening and closing to give you transmissions that your receptors aren't even online to be open to. We got the next portal coming up in 2033. Everybody in our community, they aware of it. A lot of them caught the one in 2023 before that gate closed. A lot of people didn't catch the one in 2013. I did. I caught it in 2013 and 2003. So I caught 03. I caught the one in 13 and I caught the one in 23. The next one going to be in 2033. That'll be 4. My life path number is a 4. That's 4 transmissions, right? Through the course, prior to one of those transmissions, I had 2 Kundalini activations and 2 downloads. And that happened outside of my physical body. That's why I be telling y'all about these downloads. People be like, they have a download does not take place in the awakened state. The bandwidth of that frequency or that energy is too expansive for the cells in your body to receive that type of light, right? You would go into cardiac arrest. You have to be in your light body to receive that type of bandwidth. And even that's overwhelming. You had to be a little bit more definitive, Beverly. You said, can they appear as health changes? No, like these type of downloads come straight from the divine self. And what I experience is my divine self taking my etheric cord and plugging it. Well, actually plugged it into some information. And that shit was overwhelming, right? But there's been several times where I plug my etheric cord right to my divine self. Uh, but you can't do that in your physical body. You do that after you leave out your body, right? What you're doing is picking up on transmissions. If you're picking up on stuff while you're awake or while you're in meditation, those are transmissions that are being sent to uh, the mind's eye, which acts as an antenna and picks up on them transmissions. And pyramids also act as an antenna. They also amplify your antenna to pick up on transmissions. And people are channeling into transmissions, or they're picking up on the channel that these transmissions are on, right? And your antenna is processing it, and you're taking that data and conveying it into the physical dimension, right? And there's a particular stone, which I've been fortunate enough to grab about 4 or 5 pieces of this that I'm putting into the OrgoniteTEK. And it's called Shutterkite. And Shucktight. Shutterkite. Yeah. I'm gonna take the Shutterkite and put some hickers on this, but this will enhance third eye activity. All of the orgone I'm doing from this for this next series of orgone that I'm doing is all dealing with the third eye, right? So get into meditate. If you haven't been in the meditations, you haven't been in the you know, what they call sun gazing. We're gonna call it inhaling sunlight. You ain't been grounding and stuff like that. You know, this stuff is based for that type of activity. The people that's definitely applying themselves. But Shutterkite will overstimulate your throat chakra and your third eye, right? Here's a piece of it now. I got other pieces of it, but this is the last piece I got. All right. Shuckertight. That's what it's called. Peace of love, beloved. Right? Get you some Shuckerkite. If you can't find it, I will have a couple of orgone pieces that I'm putting together and my new ultra series. Because everything is on an ultraviolet level, you know. We want to take things to an ultraviolet level. Ultraviolet is another way of saying purple, right? We're going to the crown. See, everybody, when I first came on there, everybody wanted to be in the crown. But I told y'all about the one in the feet to the solar plexus. And so it's a download happening in a specific stage of dreaming. Well, you're not actually dreaming. So you got to get past that barrier of thinking that it's a dream. These are not dreams. This is actually happening in the spiritual universe. In the physical universe, this is a dream to the spiritual body. And when you go to sleep, what you're doing in the spiritual realm is a dream to your physical body. That shit really taking place, right? And I talked about this when we was in Houston last week. If you see yourself in a dream, that's not you. You're looking at a parallel version of yourself in a parallel dimension. So sometimes y'all be seeing yourself like, damn, I seen myself in a dream doing this and doing that. No, you was looking at a parallel reality where you was doing that. And you was watching it through the reflection of that version of yourself, right? And in some instances, you was on the same energetic frequency as that aspect of yourself. It's just that it happened before you. And you woke up and did the same shit and said, oh shit, deja vu, right? It's like, no, that was another version of yourself. And I also unveiled that at Houston because it was tripping. They didn't want me to break this stuff down to y'all. But what happens is there are billions of versions of you, right? There's a version of you is me, where you on this end of the camera, you a dude, you got a beard and everything, but it's you. And you over here dropping this knowledge, and I'm asking you that question on that end, right? You turn on the TV, you the damn basketball coach instead of that basketball coach. It's another reality where you the coach smacking the dude on the ass or the girl on the ass, saying, "Get out there, go make a play. We need a play right now." Right? All of that has to occur in the physical universe in order for you to interface with this reality, right? So if you see somebody in your dreams, everybody in your dream is pretty much you, right? That sounds very paradoxical, but things really do operate on that level. Yeah, things operate on that level. You're welcome, beloved. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so your dream, like I just got through telling my pops this because he had a dream. He seen some people that passed away, right? And they was partying. They was having a good time. They was getting to, was living in opulence. Because a lot of these people, we be sending our ancestor money over there to them on a consistent basis, on a perpetual basis, and they benefiting from it. You know what I mean? Penthouses, fly shit. He said, I get people thinking you know why? Because they seen you in the spiritual universe. They seen you after y'all went to sleep. Right? They see some people say that to me too, Beverly. They like, man, I know you from somewhere. I'm like, nah. Hey, yo, I swear I've seen you. They show this to y'all in movies. I don't know if y'all seen Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Listen, look at there. Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Everything in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, that shit is for real. And I confirmed it years ago. They wiped it off the internet, the old blog talk radios I used to do. But aside from that, the movie come on and Doctor Strange is having a dream. And in the dream, he see this girl. He wake up from the dream, the shit felt real. He go to a wedding. At the wedding, some melee, some monster is loose in the street. He leave from the wedding and go out in the street and see the same little girl that he seen in his dream. He got to save the girl. And after he saved her, he was like, hold on a second. I seen you. You was in my dream. The first thing she said is that wasn't a dream. Put a 9 in the comment section if you've seen Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. If you haven't seen it, you need to go check that shit out. They show it to you right there. Go. McLean seen this. Like, they put it right in your face. They put it right in your face. They just know. They so confident that they got people on a low enough frequency that you just, oh, this is just a movie. Now they can continue to rule over you. But that's the only way they could do that. They got to show you the truth. They don't have to tell you the truth. They just have to show it to you. It's up to you and your discernment to process that, right? But it's for real. The dream state is not a dream state. This the dream state. This is temporary. You still keep existing after your body is done. And proof of that happened for my father last night. He seen one of his cousins and our old pastor, right? Seen him in his dream. Like, damn. Like, yo, that shit was real. Like, man, that shit was vivid. I was like, that wasn't a dream, Pops. That shit actually happened. And he had been burning for them. And see, if you be burning for them consistently, they're going to pop up in your dream. They just there to show you, hey, man, thank you. I appreciate that. You done looked out for them. And for all y'all people that don't be in alignment with the afterlife and you're dearly departed, it might sound like I'm talking some mumbo jumbo to you. But guess what? That's just to you. You're not on that frequency. But everybody else that is on that frequency, they didn't already had the experiences. It's especially most of my students. They dialed in. Like, it ain't no, like, oh, that Dr.RÉ full of shit. They'd never say that. They'd never say that. Like, oh, man, this shit they don't really have, no, they not going to say that. Because they didn't got that confirmation. And they beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I'm telling you, a lot of people just need to be acknowledged consistently. That raises their spiritual ranking. That kind of balances out their karmatic accounts in some cases. It also raises your spiritual ranking. You hear me? It's a selfless act to pour libations and make offerings. That's a selfless act, man. So what happens when you dream the departed alive at their funeral? Yeah, that means that they sitting there at the funeral. They at the funeral. When people pass away and they have a funeral, they show up to their own funerals. That be having them mystified that they still exist. That's the one conundrum I get on a constant basis from the afterlife. It's like, yo, what's the hell going on here? I'm not dead. That had them perplexed. Like, yo, I don't got no body no more. But a lot of them be relieved that they don't have that body because they don't have access to the pain in the central nervous system. You hear me? That's what happened with my sister. And I mean, it wasn't even 24 hours. But again, the spiritual universe vibrates a lot more rapid than this one. So what's perceived as 5 minutes here is 5 hours there. What you incur in an hour here is 12 days over there. 1 hour. So you take an hour nap and you done had a dream, you've been gone for 12 days in that hour. And when I seen my sister, she hadn't even passed away 4 hours. And I dreamt about her. What made me get this easy access is I was sleeping in the room where my father's altar was at. And I was dog tired too. I got up, I walked out the room, and I was in my grandmama's kitchen. And I seen my granddaddy who had already passed. I said, hey, granddaddy. He's like, Ali, what you doing here? I said, man, is Niecy here? He said, yeah, hold on. He got on the phone and called my sister. She hadn't been gone 4 hours now. And she popped up right on me. She was like, man, what you doing here? And I was like, I'm just making sure you okay. He was like, yeah, I'm good. And she was like, are you dead? I said, no, I'm not dead. And she was like, I said, and you not either. And she said, I'm not dead. And why do they tell people that they die? And I was like, yo, I've been telling you that for years. She was like, you did. She was like, she wish she could come over and tell people that they don't die. I was like, it ain't set up that way. I said, but I'll let them know. She was like, they're not going to listen, Ali. I was like, hey, I'm still just, I said, I told you. She was like, you did. And we laughed about that shit. And I woke up and had to go through the formalities of everything, you know, with my nephews and my siblings, my father. You know what I mean? That was his first child. So it was a lot. But, you know, I went through those stages of grief. I've done that with several people in my family. And, you know, I burnt a brick of ancestor money for my sister once I got back home, because that was in Atlanta. But once I got back home, you know, I gave it up for her. I give it up for her every year on 6/19. That's the day that she passed. That's also Pi 6/19, but that's a whole nother thing. 19/6. But shouts out to Zay. Thank you, loved one. But these type of connections are real connections. They're not speculative. You didn't have to go look in a book and read about it and have faith in it. These is real experience. These people that you've experienced. No one could take that from you. They don't want y'all to make them connections, man. You'll be like Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby. See how Ghost Dad was helping his kids out and shit? Remember the movie The Sixth Man, where the homeboy played basketball and he died? And he assisted his homeboy with what he was doing? What about Michael Jordan when his father passed in the middle of the damn series? You feel me? Joe Dumars. It happened to Joe Dumars too. His father passed. And he had an unbelievable game. It was like, man, how the hell he hitting these shots? It was his daddy. You hear me? He said, I was more happy because I felt he was accepted in heaven. I didn't see your question, beloved. It got past me. But I hear you, though. You know, people need to really know what's been going on. And for several generations, we haven't been in alignment with our dearly departed. The people in Haiti are connected to their dearly departed. The people, the Creole people in New Orleans, our people in the Dominica and Puerto Rico, a lot of them still facilitate those connections. They never let that go. It's just here on these shores, everybody is dependent on this character of Jesus that they show you. And y'all feed all y'all energy into that egregor, right? And they can facilitate you. But the joke's on you after you leave about that body. That's the caveat to that. And then, right back, they got you tethered to that cross. If you bury them in a cemetery with the cross, you done tethered their soul to this dimension. The country where my mom is from used to carry the bones of their ancestors after they died. Yeah, see what I'm saying? People have these connections. Like, that shit is only taboo to Western European Caucasians because they don't have no spiritual connections. They got demonic connections. That's how they. I'm telling you. And I ain't talking about all y'all white people. I'm talking about those people that's ruling over every goddamn body. They demonically possessed. You hear me? That's the only way that they can do stuff like that. That's a demon that's in control. They tell you that in Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. If you go to Revelations chapter 12, verse 7, it tell you about a war that went on in the heavens. And them beings got cast out and sent to earth. Those are the children of Satan. or they produce the children of Satan. We done went over this 3 or 4 times. Y'all need to go watch my videos on my TikTok. And if y'all want the full length, all of my whiteboard classes is on my YouTube page. Go to the YouTube and check out everything over there, right? And I got several videos on the afterlife, right? He said the Nephilims. That's right. The fallen ones, these are the spiritual beings that was something that happened on a spiritual plane. And they came down here and incarnated. Like, man, they got a seed too, right? You got God and his children, and you got Satan and his children. Or how we say in the Happy Now Valley, you got Amun and his children, and you have Apep and the children of Apep. Right? We are the children of the sun, right? And when you transition, you're supposed to go back to the sun. And if your heart is light enough, you don't even have to wait to die. There was a sister on TikTok. I posted her video on my Instagram where it showed people extricating to the sun. Say, how do I access the community? Yeah, you got to send me a Gmail, man. You don't have a phone number. So I emailed you, Zay. Go check your email, and I have to send you a link. But you need to download the Google Chat app. Make sure you download Google Chat app and respond to the email I sent you. And I'm going to send you a link there. I'm going to send you a direct link so you can come on in. And then I want you to get the Money Making Mondays. Moon Magic Mondays. Start getting on that manifestation frequency or the materialization frequency. The Moon Magic work, we going into phase 3. We in the phase 3, the crow phase. And I'm taking that crow, taking that crow high and go. Got my scarecrows in place. You hear me? Yeah, y'all come join the 1089 tech community. And as I aforementioned, I'm one of those TikTok pages where you got to come to my page. You got to come look on my page. Don't wait for me to pop up in your FYP. Go to your search engine and put it in that way. I'm telling you, it'll come out a lot better that way than just going ahead and waiting for me like, man, how come he not popping up in my thing? Now, I will pop up in there a little bit, but I'm telling you, I got 64 chapters of lives. 64 for you guys. So where did they get the horror movie Children of the Corn from? It's a horror movie. They got that from the dark dimension. That's what it's right? But symbolically, they try to tell you about the children of Asaru, right? Which you related to Asaru too, because he was called the god of vegetation, right? He looked over the cornfields at one time. So these are like sick, perverted, twisted, demented symbolisms that they abstracted out of the Happy Now Valley. Because everything they do came out the Happy Now. Everything. Period. It ain't no running away from that. What needs to start happening over the next 7 years is more of our people need to start being interested in the Happy Now Valley. You need to be interested in Tanzania, Nubia. Our people are not, we have no sense of African centeredness, right? And I ain't talking about that shit Umar Johnson propagating. I'm talking about real, natural, connect to the elements. Because that's the universal connection accepted throughout Africa. Earth, water, wind, and fire. Are you making a connection to that and your ancestors? Shouts out to Dr. Lila Africa. That's my guy. May the ancestors be with him. Right? I give him his prop. That's my guy. But people find it weird. Like, I just hate being, I don't hate, but I feel uncomfortable being around other so-called black people that, uh, that don't feel like, they feel uncomfortable being around African drums and African dance. You know what I mean? And seeing ceremonies and traditions from Senegal, or, if you feel like you somebody foreign and fully disconnected from that type of activity, then you have a very low sense of who you are, right? Exactly. You want some African drums, like, yeah, it's the conditioning, it is. But I'm just saying it's a deficit that I've noticed in a lot of people. And it's like, no, you got to get off of that. He said, I sent my Gmail. Okay, when I get off of here, I'll check it out. I got you, loved one. And so that's something that I'm propagating to people. They so far removed. They're more so disconnected that they're more connected to the mall than they are to a sense of who they are genetically, or where their genetic branches are tied to, right? And it doesn't make it no better for all you brothers saying, "Oh, we're not from Africa, we from America." Yeah, kind of, my nigga. The first piece of land to come out of the water was what they're calling Kilimanjaro today. And that's in Uganda, right? Kenya, Tanzania, all that little area. Nubia. That's the first shit to come out the water. People don't like to hear that, but hey, it is what it is. That ain't even nothing to be ashamed of. You know, things spread from there as more of the land mass was brought up out of the water, right? That's where the Anu people first pulled the land out the water to start mining the gold. They got all of the damn minerals, onyx, the beryllium, and I put onyx in. Now in my new dark matter mix, it got onyx and jet in it, right? Onyx amplifies psychic activity, and jet shows you how to materialize the things that's on your consciousness. There's some whole nother level of shit that I'm dealing with here, you guys, that I'm starting to integrate into the crystal matrices that I'm putting together. This is this is no joke, but you got to be on your deen. You got to be meditating. You got to be chanting. You got to be doing your affirmations and shit, and connecting to the sun and connecting to the earth when wearing this level of tech. All right, this is for the applicators. You know, like D1. Shouts out to D1, aka Diaz, aka Hagen Dazs, aka Chef RD. That's one of my first students that got activated, and her psychic center got online. Not to say that it wasn't online, but it unlocked her powers. Let's put it that way, and she started to be able to see and perceive what's occurring when I'm hitting y'all with that staff. She break it down to you, take you out in that hallway. I'm telling you, she batting 1,000 for 1,000 for that. And I'm waiting for another one of you guys, especially my day oneers. I'm waiting for it to unveil itself to you, and you step forward and tell us your gifts. Said, do you know about telekinesis? Yes, of course. Telekinesis is one of the tiers within the spectrum of telepathy, right? That's moving things with your mind kinetically, right? Said you can use it. Yeah, you need to develop that. That needs to be developed. You might need to get hit with that staff and see what it bring up out of you. I don't know how your chakras is moving, but we'll definitely see. We will have some clarity. Yeah, where my people from Dallas, Texas at? I plan on popping up on y'all people in Dallas. Where Dallas at? Where my Dallas, Texas people at? That he been training it. Right on. Yeah, just stay aware. Just stay aware. Uh, and be patient with yourself. Don't try to force it. Don't force it. Just, do you meditate at all? He said, I'm between the hours on coming to San Antonio. Okay. Yeah, that's when I come to Dallas, I plan on going to Dallas. It's gonna be a pop-up. It's not gonna be a seminar like in July. This is just a pop-up Q&A. So people could get hit with the staff if they need to, or for people that might not have, you know, the necessary arrangements to put that on their plans to make it the seminar. I want to pop up on places in Texas. We did Houston last week. This week I ain't gonna come to ever slide through Bama. Yeah, I'll come through Alabama if enough people will come, you know. I get enough people in the comments section say, "Hey, come to Alabama." That's that's why I popped up in Houston on their ass. They like, "Hey, where y'all go? Where you gonna come to Houston?" I'm like, "All right, better be careful." I pop up on your ass. And every person that said, "Hey, when I'm gonna come to Houston," that wasn't my ain't none of them will come. I'm gonna spin the block on Houston again. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spin the block on Houston again. I'm gonna come back up there I guess in a few weeks. Right. I got a lot of getting out I gotta do. Yeah. But I do want to come up to Dallas too. We get up there to Dallas and I know they got a little cultural center up there. Says you do meditate. Okay, yeah. Get consistent with your meditations. You know, I told the other brother, he ain't want to listen. He was kind of hard headed. Hulk 777, and nigga be like, oh, he be lifting up the pencil. He be doing a little thing, but you can do a lot better if you just meditated. You know what I mean? You got to get centered. Get them some Peter sight. Start meditating. Start grounding. Start inhaling the sunlight. Because a lot of people got uh, special gifts that have been opened and awakened, but their foundation, they don't have no foundation, so they're pretty feral. I call them feral spirits. A lot of spiritual pharaohs out there. And I ain't saying a pharaoh. I mean like a feral cat or a dog. You know what I mean? They just wild. And it's like no structure, no nothing. You know, and it's like, no, you gotta have some structure. You need a system in place. You need to have a spiritual connection that you're making. You know, you can't go with everything alone. You need a team. I got a spiritual committee. I used to have a spirit team, and I had, then I had my spirit council. Now I got a full committee. You know what I'm saying? And our whole community is covered by Sekhmet, Tahuti, Lord Ganesh. Can't forget about Grandfather Jade Emperor, you know, Nitika, right? The goddess of fortune. These aren't even beings in the pantheon of the natural. Mahashri Lakshmi. In order to join the community, you have to purchase something from the website. I always tell people get a medallion or get you a Dream Tech. Here goes something. I got this one for somebody. Get you a piece of Dream Tech or the Dream Tech Ultra. Put that up under your pillow or something. And that's your cost of admission. Once you in there, we hold classes every Monday, sometimes Sunday too. right? Sundays and Mondays, and sometimes I go impromptu on Thursdays. That was you that got the dream tech. It came to you. Somebody else just ordered some dream tech. Yeah, come on in, man, because we got 3 years worth of information in our database. All whiteboards. We got Gregory Grabavoy codes. I give out about 80, 90 Gregory Grabavoy codes. You know, we go over how to use these techniques, how to start bringing money into your life for those people that want to increase your income. Make all this stuff available for people. Yeah, he got his dream tech. He said, well, I'll show how you build an altar for me. You're going to have to do that one yourself. Just come take the discourse. And I want you to touch all that stuff yourself. That way, when stuff be happening and popping off, you can't be like, oh, man. You can't say, oh, it's just doing this because Dr.RÉ did it. No, you're going to be like, it's doing this because you did it. Somebody just posted something new in the group to talk about their candle. You know, they going to show up in them candles, man. I'll be telling y'all. See what this being said. You overthinking it, man. You're overthinking it. But yeah, they pop up in that candle on your ass. Them is real connections. And going back to the Happy Now Valley again, they were the first ones to establish the concepts of life after death. They talk about the eternal life that you have to live after this life. It's not even a death. So it's not, it's not an ancient classified secret. It's just that we haven't been connecting to that. You know what I'm saying? Too many generations we've been severed off. And before we even got severed, it came a point in time when people stopped doing it. It was like, oh, ain't nothing gonna happen. I ain't gotta give it up for them. Oh, I ain't gotta go send my children to the occult center. They don't need to know about astronomy, astrology, or cosmology. They don't need to be learning about the future and what's gonna happen. We rich as fuck. The streets is paved in gold. My sons have 100 concubines apiece. They have palaces here and there and everywhere. They got trade routes all across the globe. Who cares about the stars? You hear me? That's what happened. Any other questions? We're going to come back here later. I just wanted to tap in right fast and check in with my people from Dallas. If you're from Dallas, Texas, let me know. All my Dallas people, I'm gonna round up the Dallas people in our community. I know we got about 7 or 8 people from Dallas in there. But I'm gonna hit up my Dallas people and let them know that I'm coming through. I got families and friends and constituents in that area as well. But y'all be on the lookout. I do plan on doing a pop-up in Dallas. Just a Q&A. Tickets will be $57, $25 for members, free for all my AAA people. All my triple. I haven't came up with a date or a hotel yet. Right? We'll be coming to Alabama too. We gonna come to Alabama and even Atlanta. Atlanta, y'all look out for me too. I'm gonna do a pop-up on y'all ass too. All right, you guys. So we gonna get on off of here for now. Peace and love. May the ancestors be with you. And I'll see you guys again within the algorithm. Who am I? Why do?